You know, there's nothing like the feeling of a brand new car, but in saying that, there are some features that are in older cars that simply need to make a comeback in newer models. Here are our picks. First up, wheels are getting too big. A big wheel means more unsprung mass. That negatively impacts the handling, steering, braking, and dynamics in general. Plus, big wheels means rubber band thin tires. This means the suspension has to work overtime to provide ride comfort, and if you hit a pothole, you risk damaging those huge and often expensive rims. The solution is easy: smaller rims with chunkier tires. Go to any track day and look at the cars that take their lap times seriously. Often they'll be wearing wheels that are a size or two smaller in diameter with tires that have a far more substantial sidewall. This is because those wheels are lighter, improving dynamics, and it allows the tire to generate more grip. Plus, on the street, a chunkier tire soaks up bumps more easily, therefore offering more grip on crap roads and potentially protecting the rim if it cops a big hit. Plus, and many of you are going to hate me for saying this, larger wheels means a slower car. Newton's second law dictates that the force on an object is equal to its mass multiplied by its acceleration. So therefore, a larger wheel size will decrease the driving force from your wheels, which will culminate in a decrease in acceleration of the said wheels. Basically, the car's engine has to work harder to rotate a bigger wheel, making for a slower car with worse fuel economy. Okay, next up, you know what needs to make a comeback, even though they do technically still exist, just not in anywhere near enough numbers. Station wagons. Everyone seems bloody obsessed with SUVs. And look, if you need an SUV because your back is rooted and you can't deal with bending over at the hips every time you're loading and unloading your kids or your grandparents in and out all day long, yeah, look, fair enough. Or if the roads that you drive on are in such a state of disrepair that you need the extra ground clearance, then cool. But other than that, a station wagon is simply better, and we need them to make a comeback. Compared to an SUV, a station wagon will have a lower center of gravity, so it should be superior in terms of steering, handling, and performance. They're generally lighter than SUVs, so that means less wear and tear on the mechanicals and the consumables, and often better fuel economy. They offer arguably the same levels of practicality, and generally, they look cooler too. Station wagons, for the vast majority of SUV buyers, are the smarter choice, yet they're disappearing. Okay, the next old school car trend that needs to make a comeback, even though most people won't ever see it, are engines that look cool even without their plastic covers. Look at this. This isn't the engine from some exotic supercar, it's the 6-cylinder from the Alfa Romeo 147 GTA hatchback. A hatchback! And it's a thing of beauty. Until it blows up. But even then, at least it looks sexy as hell as it spews oil out everywhere. I'm kidding, or am I? But seriously, especially in performance cars or cars that are just more interesting than the normal run-of-the-mill stuff, yes, hardly anyone will look at it, but it would be nice if the engine was almost like a hidden visual treasure rather than popping the bonnet and reacting with, oh, it's plastic. Okay, next up, let's bring back two-tone paint. I'm not talking like a subtle difference, I'm talking like retro cool two-tone paint. A different coloured roof doesn't count either. We're talking 60s and 70s Austin Healey or old school Land Cruiser or Ford Bronco style. Basically, two complementary but contrasting colours down the side of the car. Yes, the Bugatti Chiron and a handful of other ultra premium cars offers this two-tone effect as an option, but with such bold crease lines appearing on many new cars, let's see them accentuated with some retro colour palettes. Okay, a current trend that is infuriating heaps of people are touch screens controlling everything in a car. Let's bring back the opposite, let's bring back buttons. Not just the plastic ones, we're talking genuine metal switchgear. We're talking switchgear like you'd find when piloting a World War II Spitfire. Imagine how satisfying it would be to switch the air conditioning on with a meaty metallic thok, or turning the fan speed up with a solid and definite click, click, click tactility, like you're turning your radio onto Allied Air Command, feeling like you're setting in motion some complex synergy of mechanics and electricity, not just smudging your fingers onto yet another screen. Okay, this next one might be a little bit dangerous both in terms of safety and security, but let's bring back quarter windows and that flexy kind of latchable rear glass. Now, if you were born after 1999, there's a huge chance you have no idea what we're talking about here. But back in the day, you could ventilate some cars by swiveling the little pane of glass just near the side mirrors, or pop and lock the rear window out using nothing but the glass's flexibility as a hinge. And look, yes, there are very few logical reasons why we want to see this return other than the fact that it's really cool, but in a world where we rely on climate control air conditioning so much, surely these are better for the environment? Okay, another feature that has vanished because of safety, but this time for the pedestrians, it's pop-up headlights. Coming in a wide range of styles and forms of choreography, pop-up headlights first appeared back in 1935, but since then have gone on to light the road ahead for automotive design icons like the Lamborghini Miura and Countach, the Mazda MX-5 Miata, the Toyota Celica and MR2, the Porsche 944, the Honda NSX, the Ferrari Testarossa, and of course, the iconic Mazda 323. And look, sure, plenty of pedestrians have been torn to shreds after being hit by a pop-up headlights equipped car, but you know what? Maybe they just should have been more careful, because now, because they attempted to ride the bonnet of an innocent passing car, we can't have the coolest lights in the business. Now, before we get to our final feature that needs to make a return, if you're enjoying this video and our content in general, can you hit that like and the subscribe button? Honestly, just simply hitting those two buttons, that helps us out more than you know. We'd appreciate it so, so much. Okay, finally, and it's my personal favorite on this list, let's bring back retro graphics and decals. We're talking in the style of everything from the funky stripes and shapes as seen on the 60 series Land Cruiser, the first generation Pajero, and the 160 and 260 series Nissan Patrol, through to Honda's iconic VTEC double overhead cam door decals, and Mitsubishi's Galant VR4, listing out pretty much its entire engine and transmission specs on the side of the car. Porsche offers a range of retro-inspired door graphics on everything from base model Boxsters through to Traxlane GT and RS models, and Suzuki recently announced its Heritage Edition Jimny featuring exactly what we're talking about. So why not everyone else? The Hyundai Ioniq 5 is inspired by designs from the past. Why not go all out? Want to make a current RAV4 funkier? Done. And the Civic Type R finally looks like something you'd be happy to introduce to your parents, but it just needs that final touch to be really cool. Now to you guys, what old school car trends do you want to see make a comeback in new cars? And next week we're flipping this list around, we're going to cover the current trends that just need to bloody disappear. See you then. So that means less wear and tear on the mechanicals and the consumables. When a car goes past, what even is that? World War II Spitfire goes past and ruins the tape. They're generally lighter than SUVs, so the noisiest location in the world. It's the 6-cylinder from the Alfa Romeo. Why? Dual cab ute owners, why? A hatchback, and it's a thing of beauty until it blows up. And another dual cab ute goes past, ruining the take. Hey, dual cab ute owners, your cars aren't fast, okay? They're not, so don't drive them like they're performance cars.